What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the stimulus package update, daily news, pretty much everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., money, investing, the stock market. Remember that new videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos coming out here on our channel. And if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. I will keep you up to date with everything going on here in our country. Okay, first, let's start with a very controversial story that is going on right now that is going to make a lot of people very upset. Lots of different headlines here. Why the Biden administration would pay as much as $450,000 to separated immigrant families. This is here from the Washington Post. You can see here from the Wall Street Journal, U.S. in talks to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to families separated at the border. Government is considering payments of $450,000 per person affected by the Trump administration's zero tolerance policy in 2018. And the GOP, the Republicans, are blasting Biden for considering $450,000 payments per person to illegal immigrant families for crossing the border and having their families separated. Now, this is a very big story. You may have heard about this on the news or circulating the media right now. So, number one, they're trying to settle this. This is because of lawsuits, and they're suing the government, the Biden administration. This is for past cases from the Trump administration, and this is even still going on now in some cases. And these are lawsuits that are actually seeking millions of dollars in some cases. And some experts say that settling this could actually cost the government a lot less. But they are suing the government for millions and millions of dollars per case. Here's some more details.
The Biden administration may soon be paying millions of dollars to migrant families separated at the border under former President Trump's zero tolerance policy. We all watched in 2018 as children were kept in cages, taken from their parents simply because their parents crossed the border illegally with them. Today, more than 1,000 families are believed to still be separated. For more on this, I want to bring in Jacob Soboroff, who's been following this story from the very beginning for us. So, Jacob, what triggered this compensation now, and do we have a dollar figure?
Tort cases, Chris. Those are lawsuits against the federal government for the treatment of these individuals during that family separation, what they call the zero tolerance policy during the Trump years. And remember, Physicians for Human Rights called what those families went through torture. That's a Nobel Peace Prize winning organization. The American Academy of Pediatrics called it government sanctioned child abuse. And so what the Wall Street Journal has reported, and we've confirmed, is that there are ongoing negotiations in which the victims of the family separation policy could be paid out potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars each. But these are ongoing, I want to caution, negotiations. Nothing has been finalized, and ultimately that's going to be a decision that's going to be reached between the Biden administration's Department of Justice and the lawyers for the plaintiffs in this case, which are families that were separated by the Trump administration.
All of which is an opportunity for us, Jacob, to bring folks up to date, to exactly find out how many of those families are still separated. Do we know how many of the kids are out there, first of all? And at this point, after all this time, is the expectation that reunification is unlikely to happen?
I'm so glad that you brought that up, Chris, because there are basically two tracks going on here. There are these civil lawsuits against the U.S. government for financial damages, but there's also the reunification effort that's being run by the Biden administration's Family Reunification Task Force that's headed by Michelle Brane, a former activist who was brought into the administration to head up this effort. There are still 1,000 families, approximately, according to Brane, that remain separated, around 303, according to the last court filing. The parents of those children haven't even been able to be reached by the U.S. government because of how shoddy the record keeping was during the Trump administration.
Now, for both sides of the story, Republican lawmakers are blasting the Biden administration here for trying to settle these lawsuits for potentially up to $450,000 per person. While the average demand in each lawsuit amounts to around $3.4 million per family, that's what they're suing for. Per lawsuit is the average amount. The Biden administration is considering $450,000 per person. Uh, I don't think a lot of people realize that these are actually lawsuits, and this would be a potential settlement claims. So some experts say that if they don't settle this, that the government could actually pay more money than this amount. So these are lawsuits. This isn't just the Biden administration just handing out money. Because again, I looked into this and I'm like, why on earth would the Biden administration give this to illegal immigrants? And the reason is, and again, I'm not condoning this at all because I don't think they should be giving illegal immigrants money as they were in an illegal activity while crossing the border. But as you can see here, the average demand in each lawsuit amounts to they're suing for $3.4 million per family, and they're trying to settle it for around $450,000 per person. Now, Republicans are blasting this, and kind of rightfully so. Kevin McCarthy is calling it a slap in the face, saying, quote, "It's insanity rewarding illegal immigrants with hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer dollars is the ultimate insult to law-abiding citizens." And, well, I can agree with that. Definitely. It is insanity. But on the other hand, some experts are saying if you don't settle it at all, then the government could actually end up paying more money depending on how the lawsuits actually end up being settled on their own through a jury or a judge. So you do have to keep that in mind because these are actual lawsuits. So it's not just, I think the media is getting this a little bit misconstrued, saying that, and again, this is where the media comes into play. Oh, the Democrats just want to hand money to illegal immigrants. This is where you always get the kind of Republican versus Democrat, Democrat versus Republican media storyline, right? And Republicans are blasting Democrats, Democrats are blasting Republicans. Democrats are saying, well, this is the Trump's fault because it happened during the Trump's administration. Republicans are blasting Democrats, saying you shouldn't be paying illegal immigrants anything. But I think that what both sides are losing sight of here is that these are lawsuits, and there's probably going to be payments either way, whether they settle it or whether it goes to a jury decision, or, maybe there's a chance that the jury decides there should be no payment because it happened during an illegal activity of crossing the border illegally. But I guess that would be up to a jury, which could happen. But I guess we will have to see. But I want to kind of bring you guys the light there so you're not looking at it from a Democratic point of view saying, oh, it's just Trump's fault because it happened during the Trump administration. Or you're not looking at it from a Republican point of view saying, oh, it's the Democrats' fault and they just want to hand out free money, because it's not really the case either way there, because these are actual lawsuits where they're suing the government. And I think that most people haven't really realized that. But it's a very sad case overall that people can cross the border illegally and then sue the government for millions and millions and millions of dollars and potentially get it. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this, because this is a major story happening right now in our country. And I'll keep you up to date on this. Let me know your thoughts on this. So this is a very big thing, but I don't think a lot of people realize that there's actually lawsuits behind this. And that's probably why there's going to be money paid out by the federal government. Okay, on the next stimulus package, here is Pramila Jayapal, the leader of the Democratic Progressive Caucus. Remember, they just blocked the vote on the physical infrastructure package, saying, no, we're not going to vote on the physical infrastructure package until we have something more ironclad with either the stimulus package, or we're going to vote on the stimulus package first. Because again, if they vote on the physical infrastructure package in the House, that'll be gone because they've already passed it in the Senate. So here's her with information about the stimulus package and the physical infrastructure package.
If you were explaining to somebody right now who hasn't been following this all along, who hasn't been super engaged in all the ins and outs, who just wants to know if there's going to be something new coming from Washington to help people, would you tell them yes, or would you tell them we still don't know?
I would say absolutely yes. Our caucus, as you know, already agreed that we would vote on the infrastructure bill if we had the Build Back Better Act and the text of the Build Back Better Act, that the two bills would move together. And Rachel, I feel like we are very close. But the most important thing is this. 3 weeks ago, when I was on your show, we did not have a bill that had 50 senators. The White House was engaged, but not nearly as engaged as they have been. We did not have progressives and moderates and whoever else is in the House ready to vote for the Build Back Better Act. There was all kinds of back and forths about it. And in 3 weeks, by progressives holding the line and saying these two bills need to go together because we are not leaving anybody behind, we were able to get more negotiation to happen than has happened in the last 6 months with these two senators. And now I think, and I met with Senator Kirsten Sinema today. It was a really good meeting, very productive. And I've been talking, as you know, to Joe Manchin. And Rachel, I really believe that we have shown people what it means to fight for them, to not leave people behind. And we will deliver very shortly, we will deliver both the BIF, the infrastructure bill, and the remarkably transformational Build Back Better Act, so that families across this country can get universal child care by paying no more than 7% of their income, universal pre-K, the biggest investment in housing since the New Deal, investment in elder care, home and community-based care, the biggest investment in climate ever that we have ever seen, and health care for people. Not to mention, we will actually change the tax code so that finally we can bring a tiny bit of fairness, not everything we wanted, but a tiny bit of fairness to the tax code so the wealthiest corporations and individuals start to pay more of their fair share. So I am feeling really good today. And, it's my nature to be optimistic, as you know, but I actually today, I see the end. And I don't think I've said that on your show before. I see the end.
No, you certainly haven't.
Of course, the House has to pass these, and then the Senate has to pass it. And I am trusting the president when he says he has 50 votes in the Senate. Plus, I've spoken to Senator Sinema. I will circle back with Senator Manchin. And look, we will. There is a bit of a leap of faith here that we will take. But I believe that we are finally in a place where that can happen. And I'm just so proud of the Progressive Caucus. I'm proud of the progressive movement. I think we showed the country what it means to fight for everybody and leave nobody behind.
So Pramila Jayapal, leader of the Progressive Caucus, 96 Democrats in the House, seems very optimistic that they could get a deal done here very, very soon. As you heard, she recently met, I think today, with Kirsten Sinema, who has been under a lot of criticism, as well as Senator Joe Manchin. Do you think that Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema are going to come on board and vote yes with this stimulus package? Let me know down below. We've also have Senator Bernie Sanders and a lot of Democrats pushing, as well as Representative Cori Bush looking to add more stimulus items for the people in this bill. One of which is to lower prescription drug pricing, which would impact about 66% of adults. About 66% of adults pay for prescription drugs on a monthly basis, and lowering the cost for them would be a stimulus type item where if you pay less for them every single month, it would put more money in your pocket. They're looking to add that back into the package. Check this out. One key addition that many Democrats are still pushing for, including, is provisions to lower the cost of prescription drug pricing. Prescription drug pricing was left out of the framework released by the White House, with an administration official saying they simply did not have the votes. But leaving the policy out would be a major blow to Democrats who have spent years campaigning on lower prescription drug pricing. There are now discussions about a scaled back compromise version that could win support from a handful of Democrats who have raised concerns about broader versions, worrying they will harm innovation from drug companies developing new treatments. The potential compromise would be significantly less ambitious than earlier versions. For example, it would allow Medicare to negotiate prices for a smaller group of older drugs that no longer have exclusivity, meaning they are no longer protected from competition. But Kirsten Sinema remains a question mark on the potential compromise. And we had word yesterday that several Democrats from the House that were voting no on that previously are now thinking about coming on board with this compromise. Democrats that were going to not be on board for the prescription drug pricing compromise, the old compromise, are now okay or may be okay with this new compromise, moving towards having that added into the bill. Whether or not Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema might be, they're kind of in bed with the pharmaceutical industry, well, that will left to be unseen. So they're not going to be able to get a full prescription drug pricing lowering bill in there, but if they get a compromise, a middle ground bill that would still be really good, it would help lower prescription drug pricing and would be a step in the right direction to maybe get more done in the future. Remember that President Biden and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have confirmed there will be another stimulus package after this, done through the reconciliation process, which is why they're kind of okay with a $1.75 trillion stimulus package, which is exactly half of the $3.5 trillion of what it was expected to be. So the current plan is to pass the 1.75 trillion as soon as possible, then pass or at the same time or thereabouts pass the physical infrastructure package, which is $1.2 trillion, which is bipartisan. It was passed by Republicans and Democrats in the Senate. Mitch McConnell, leader of the Republicans in the Senate, voted for it as well. Pass those two, then come back around for another stimulus package after that. President Biden's words were something to the effect of, we'll pass what we can agree on now, and then we'll come back around for another bite at the apple and get whatever we can in the next stimulus package, as well as new additions to the next stimulus package as well. So the Democrats will be having at least one, if not two more stimulus packages over the course of the next the year 2020, before they go up to the next midterm elections, when the House and the Senate go up for re-election. So they're trying to add the prescription drug pricing in there, as well as right now for Medicare, hearing, dental, and vision. Hearing is in there, as well as hearing aids is set to be in the bill. Bernie Sanders is trying to negotiate vision and dental. Probably vision and prescription eyeglasses and stuff like that would be the next one on the block to be added into the package. Dental is the most expensive. Remember, that was set to be added into the bill in like 2028 because it's the most expensive. It's the hardest to do. So for dental. So vision is the one they're working on next to add into the bill. Things are literally changing by the hour as they're trying to do all this as well. And remember that they're also still trying to add a stimulus check in there for adults for $1,400. We have multiple different advocacy groups trying to do that. And we also have the $800 stimulus debit card that is still up in the air. That would be for, as you can see here, Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders have both kind of championed this idea, $800 stimulus debit card to help with medical and dental that would go to Medicare recipients. So Bernie Sanders originally wanted to do it somewhere from $600 to $1,000. They kind of went right in the middle with an $800 stimulus debit card idea to help with medical and dental. So there is some speculation on whether or not you'd be able to use it for other things. Not sure if we will be able to do that or not. We probably won't know until we actually get the cards, if that happens. But this is a kind of stimulus debit card where you would actually get literally a debit card and be able to use it for medical and dental and maybe some other items, depending on whether or not you literally go to use it and it gets denied or not. But yeah, so this is a stimulus debit card that they want to add in this package as well. And they're looking to add a stimulus check, possibly for adults, in addition to the monthly checks for children, the child tax credits. Those are in the bill extended for one more year, the child tax credits. $250 to $300 per year for one more year. They're $300 per month, every single month for one more year for children under the age of 6, so 5 and under, and $250 per month for children ages 6 through 17, called the child tax credits. That would be for one more year for 2022. Now, remember that those are going to currently end on December 15th, would be the last monthly payment if they cannot extend this package. Okay. The other problem with that is that currently the debt limit is set to expire somewhere around December 3rd. Okay. So that would actually be before the December 15th payment. So if they can't pass the stimulus package actually before December 3rd, we could have an issue with that December 15th payment actually going out, because the Treasury could literally run out of money potentially before then. So they have to actually pass the stimulus package before then to extend the debt limit, because if they don't extend the debt limit, then the government and the Treasury will literally run out of money. Can't make this stuff up. And remember that last time the Republicans helped them, 11 Republicans, they needed 10. They only passed it with one extra vote. And Mitch McConnell said they're not going to help them next time around because Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader of the Senate, blasted them literally a minute after they passed it. And Mitch McConnell said, well, now we're not going to help you next time around. So now the Democrats have to do it on their own through this stimulus package. But they have to actually pass the package and include that provision in the package. And Nancy Pelosi has been mum at this point on whether or not they're actually going to include it in the package. So she's kind of playing a cat and mouse game. She was asked about it and said, well, she'd prefer to do it with the Republicans, but the Republicans ain't going to do it. So are they going to do it? I don't know. It's a good guessing game, right? Meanwhile, the American people are left kind of wondering. So I guess we'll find out here, hopefully. But I'll keep you up to date here on everything. Let me know your thoughts on this $450,000 for immigration or illegal immigrants. It's sad that taxpayer money is going to go to that, but because of the lawsuits, I guess the only other option is pay them nothing and then let it go to court and then see. You roll your dice and then see if it will be less or more with the lawsuits. Let me know your thoughts. What would you do? Yeah, it's just sad. The taxpayer dollars is going to go to that. Yeah. But anyways, I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on in our country, this next stimulus package, and everything going on. If it's in the news and it's important, I'll let you guys know about it. So make sure to subscribe down below. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is how you can get rent assistance paid for by the third stimulus check package. You can get 3 to 12 months of your rent paid for by the federal government. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.